Hello, YouTube. This is Dark Tower Palaver. My name is Tad.
And I'm Peter.
And we're here for, is this our second YouTube video that's YouTube exclusive? Like, not our podcast.
Trailer reaction, and now the movie reaction.
The film reaction, yeah. So we're reacting to Firestarter, but I'm trying to remember. We haven't done anything else, though, have we?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because we've been trying to come up with ideas, and we have a lot of stuff, like, ready, but this is the first one that really, like, the trailer dropped, and then now the movie's out, so we're just kind of rolling with that.
Yeah.
Right?
Indeed. So, yeah, we're podcasters. We primarily podcast about Stephen King in general. We started with as a Dark Tower thing. Dark Tower is always our first love, but we've definitely expanded into the full King universe, which seems to fit. And we've been doing podcasting for like 6 years, and here we are now. We've been on YouTube live streaming for a while, but we've decided to finally start throwing some YouTube content out there.
Yeah.
So more short form, that kind of thing. So yeah, we reacted to the Firestarter trailer, and now we just saw the movie. Literally, we just got back to the studio here from a movie theater. I made one comment as we were sitting through the trailers of a reaction, but like a sentence. So outside of that, we have not discussed a single thing about the film. So we're talking about the 2022 starring Zac Efron.
I
always blank on his name. Firestarter, the new film that just came out as of the time this is posted. I'll be posting this pretty much opening weekend here, so it's opening weekend. It's also on Peacock, I believe, in the United States.
Correct.
Internationally, I'm not sure. So, Peter, you are the big Firestarter fan. It's one of your top Stephen King books. We watched on our Patreon. We did a reaction / commentary, not really commentary because we didn't really know a lot. It was a reaction track for the original Firestarter, but now we have seen the new one. So reactions. What do you think? As a big Firestarter fan, I'll let you go first.
They cut out. I guess we should warn.
Yeah, and this is
spoilers.
This is going to be spoilers.
Yes.
Yeah, so definitely don't watch this until you've watched the movie.
Right.
But again, it's online on streaming services. Jump on there. I think Peacock even has a free version, don't they? Or
they have a
pretty
free,
low cost.
They have a
with
free
ads.
version. I don't know if it's part of that. I found out the other day that there are some premium content.
Okay.
I just canceled. I just canceled my Peacock, and then I was like, "Oh, I should go watch this." And then it's like, "Sign up for premium." I'm
Okay.
like, damn it.
Okay. So maybe either way, maybe do a trial and then watch it. But
I think it's officially out on the 13th. We're recording this on the 12th. We literally saw it like open.
oh yeah, one of those kind of like the
opening day is the 13th, but somehow we get to see it the day before.
It's the replacement for the midnight showings.
Yeah.
But yes. So we're seeing this. This will be in fact, I'll post this tomorrow, so it'll be opening day.
Okay,
so
opening day.
Yeah, but spoilers alert, definitely.
Yeah, definitely spoiler. Wanted to get that out there before I say anything. They took like the biggest thing of Firestarter out, like the whole relationship with Rainbird, the captivity and everything like that.
Yeah.
And they left it open for a sequel with her leaving with Rainbird and like forgiving him for murdering her mother.
Yeah, there was
like,
a
choice.
There was a few changes for sure, and that's definitely one of the bigger ones. I could see why though. I don't think you could really do that long form what they do in the book with her and Rainbird like that. That I think is like if you did a mini series, it'd be easier to do that.
Yes.
But in a 90-minute movie, I don't think that's super possible.
It was very short. I felt that like
it's horror movies, right? It's that's the thing. I was walking away though is like this wasn't really a horror movie.
I mean, it's got some horror elements, like they tried.
But this
to
feels
make
like a
it some
drama to me.
It was a drama
with some horrific elements.
It does have some horrific stuff, but I mean, so does Godfather. I mean, gosh, we see people get choked and stabbed, the horse head, all different kinds of things. Exactly like this one. I thought it could have been a little bit more fleshed out. I thought there could have been a little bit more. Also, I can't get past the ending. Choosing to forgive Rainbird and going with him.
That was and it definitely feels like a very open-ended ending.
Yeah.
And obviously, the last thing is always the thing you remember the most. But overall, that was definitely a strange one. And as I was sitting there in the theater, we stayed just to see if there's anything post-credits, which there isn't, by the way. And I was just thinking to myself, like, God, I wonder if Peter likes this or not. And I was like trying to gauge you a little bit, but I'm like, I don't know. I mean,
well, you'll find out. Here you go.
Because that's definitely a big surprise. Me, I loved it. They did definitely make some changes. I don't think Mom had powers in the book that I remember. So they kind of allude that she has powers, but she doesn't really use them. Pretty much.
It's more like,
and Rainbird has powers too, so that's the other big.
Yeah, that's a huge thing is Rainbird having powers and him being able to read her mind and everything like that. There's absolutely no powers. He's never an experiment. He's an assassin. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's a trained fighter from Vietnam.
Yeah.
Huge assassin kind of guy. Juan lives. one scene with Wanless, nothing with Rainbow.
And they alluded to his speech a little bit. Mm-hmm. Or the side was it Wanless that gave the speech, or was it someone else in the book?
It's him.
Okay, so
he comes into Cap's office he doesn't just call. He goes in and barges in and is like, "You fuckers, you're idiots," all that kind of thing. We have to kill her. We have to terminate her before she even has powers.
And that was the I always blank on his name. It's the guy from RoboCop.
Yeah, it's Red Foreman from that '70s show.
That's RoboCop.
No, he's Red Foreman.
He was blowing RoboCop away before that '70s show was even considered.
Yes, but there are other times where an actor gets a better role after.
Not better than RoboCop.
Hey, Anthony Hopkins is not his first role. He is Anthony Hopkins is not his first role ever. He is Hannibal Lecter.
He's from RoboCop.
No.
But yeah, he was a great casting, and that was a great role. And yeah, I loved. They obviously didn't go as deep as Stephen King's book did, because you can't in a 90-minute movie. But
understandable.
I think they got a good nutshell of kind of his whole worry and concern about Charlie.
Kurtwood Smith. That's Red.
I always want to call him Kurt, but I know it's not Kurt, and I'm like, is it Kirtland? I don't know. It's that's where he gets. But yeah, he did a great job. I think it was cool with the captain, Hollis.
Captain Hollister.
Or Hollister, yeah. So flipping that, and I think she did a great job.
She was probably my second favorite part of the movie. She was diabolical. She was aggressive, which is what I really wanted from Captain Hollister, especially if we're going to make her. Captain Hollister in the book is old. He's the old guard, which she's talking about in the movie.
She's the new guard.
She's the new guard. I like that they made her aggressive. She calls Rainbird out of retirement, who had disgrace and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I like this. I like where this is going. And then even that last scene with her, she's like, "Now you burn me, you burn your dad." Like, okay, this is the Cap that I really.
They did a good. I think we lost some of the villainy of Rainbird a little bit. Some of the sinister. I think they translated it to her though.
Exactly.
Not that Rainbird wasn't scary, because I think they did do a good job of. I just don't think he was as scary as King made him in the book. Which, to be honest, can anyone do that?
No.
Because Rainbird might be one of the most underrated King villains in terms of just absolute fucking dastardly evil motherfucker.
The whole choking people, in the book, choking people out and wanting to see the life leave their eye.
Yeah,
that is one of the evilest things that characters can do.
And then getting in with people. Charlie and making her, making all that was.
He's he's not the one that killed her mother. That was the other agents and everything like that, which I thought left something to be desired, because then Andy just killed those two agents just because they kidnapped his daughter.
Yeah, which I loved, actually. That was actually really cool. I loved that.
I'm not gonna lie. The book, he doesn't kill him. He just go to sleep. The guy goes into a coma for 15 years,
something. Yeah,
and then the other guy is still blind.
Yeah, but I loved it because I just felt
that's a father's reaction.
A brand new father too. I feel he's younger. He's less experienced. That is the kind of reaction. Mm-hmm. And ultimately that is probably one of those things that drove him to try to point Charlie in the way that he did. But what do you think? So what do you think of his performance as Andy?
Real fast, just because we're talking about it, with the two agents that he basically says, shoot your partner and then stop breathing.
Yeah.
I think that's the only Easter egg we have in there, if you can call it that. Stop breathing.
It felt very...
He says, forget how to breathe, but it's stop breathing. That's the Dark Tower movie. Matthew McConaughey is Randolph, stop breathing.
Yeah, which I love. That was one of my favorite additions to Flag's forte in the Dark Tower movie.
My Hollister and Andy, Zac Efron, those two performances were my absolute favorite.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part of the whole movie. I love the shift instantly when his wife is killed. He realizes the situation, and he's like, we're on the run. We have no shot at this in the 21st century. I love that they didn't draw it out and make it they go to the cabin and they hide away. And that doesn't happen in this day and age.
No.
There is no prolonged, I wonder who the serial killer is really that much anymore.
Yeah.
With the technology today, they're going to catch you. I mean, hell, they had a satellite looking at her school.
Yeah, to see the heat signature, which is brilliant.
Yeah, they're going to find you.
Yeah.
So I love that it wasn't drawn out and everything like that. But his switch and the whole premise of it is instead of control, repress in the book like it is, and then finally he says release it, it's repress because that's what I think is right. I'm arguing with your mother.
Yeah.
Repress. Oh shit, your mother's dead. Well, you have to learn how to control her. We're fighting for our lives now.
Yeah.
It was a great switch for the character, and I think Zac portrayed it perfectly that he's like, oh my God, like I have to teach her to do these things.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So here's Gloria Rubin and Zac Efron are your MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'll give it to Ryan Kira Armstrong as Charlie. As well as Michael Greyeyes as Rainbird. Like, Rainbird was not Rainbird from the book, but I think they actually, in some ways, I was thinking about it, I'm like, because he's not as scary and as just evilly sinister as he was in the book, but at the same time, he had a lot more depth in this than he did.
Yeah, he did.
In the, because
being a victim of their experiments first before Charlie's parents.
Yeah, and he ends up being taken prisoner, like, because he does things his own way or whatever.
He goes off the rail and murders 4 cops.
Yeah, I just feel like there was just, because we get a lot more of Rainbird in the book, obviously.
Yeah.
But I do think that so much of him is just kind of almost, I don't want to say mustache twirling villainy, but he's just so evil, like which is good. I love the way it's written, but it's like there isn't much depth beyond that evilness. Even when he's like with Charlie, like, and you kind of, that's the point where you start to kind of get a little bit more of him in the book, but it's always underpinned by the fact that he's manipulating her. So like, it's just like, is any of this real? So I just feel like there isn't as much depth to the character, and I don't say that to mean that there's any less of him, because Anthony Hopkins, Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal is not a very deep character.
No,
he's brilliant. It's one of the best, villains of all time, and one of the best characters in the 20th century. But you can't really say there's this massive depth to Hannibal. Even in the books, it comes in the later books and later movies that you really start to learn more about him. So I don't say that about Rainbird to be negative, because I really think that the way King wrote it's fine, but I do think this one was a little bit more intriguing to me. Like, I feel like if there was going to be a mini series and this was to be stretched out further, I would be really interested in what these people would have done with Rainbird, because I think they were giving him more depth and more.
Well, they took the depth from the dad. They took the depth from Andy.
Yeah,
where you see Andy in prison dealing with drug addiction and everything like that. And that coping with it, and how am I going to save Charlie? How am I going to get her out of this, and everything like that?
Yeah.
And you kind of transferred it to Rainbird.
Yeah.
Where it's
which is
God,
cool.
I got to save her. She's my sister. She's my mother. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
He could have very easily pulled down the gun and just bam, blew her away there at the farm and everything like that. And he didn't. He's like, he had the switch. He had something change in him too.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's way more depth than he has. Like you said, I like the analogy you gave, mustache twirling. But evil in the book, which is great. I love evil characters. You need sometimes, especially when you have someone as wholesome as Charlie in the book.
Yeah,
she is so wholesome. She is so innocent
and trusting and stuff.
You have to have that evil, diabolical bastard that you can't trust, and you're just like, I hate you. I can't wait for you to die. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So to see it shift where it's not that, because Charlie's not as innocent in this one.
No.
She likes to burn.
Yeah.
She sets a cat on fire for scratching her.
She
sets her mother on fire and then admits that she was aiming for her father.
Yeah.
This is way more darker Charlie. And it's
and the cat is
great.
brutal.
The cat is brutal as hell.
That is going to upset some people. I was even trying to listen, so we didn't have that many. There's maybe 10 people tops.
Seeing it at 5 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon.
Exactly. Or Thursday afternoon. It's whatever. So I wasn't expecting a huge crowd, but I was just trying to get a sense. Like, are there people upset about this? Because this feels.
Damn.
Yeah, there was a bunch of it though, and that's the only thing I mentioned to you is it's way more brutal than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I knew it'd be rated R, but there's rated R and then there's rated R. Like this was that's where this almost felt like a horror movie in terms of how far they went with special effects and stuff. But in terms of a little segue is with horror movies, I have to throw out a shout out to the score.
Oh,
John Carpenter's score.
Carpenter is a god.
There was multiple
so good.
There was multiple times where I just stopped and just was taking the score and I'm like, this is fucking great, dude.
This is great.
The score, because so many scores can just be kind of vanilla and you just kind of they blend into the background. Honestly, some people are really digging Doctor Strange. I thought that score was really forgettable. Yeah. And as much as I loved the last one that I think Michael Giacchino did, but Danny Elfman scoring this one, I get what they were doing with it. It had to be more subtle and a little bit more horror and stuff. Outside of one very musical scene, it was pretty forgettable for me.
Yeah.
And that was one of my biggest takeaways from Doctor Strange. But this one was the exact opposite. I'm like, there's multiple times where I was not in a bad way taken out of the movie, but I was taken out of the movie just to listen to the score and go, dude, this is fucking great.
Oh, when she's walking out and everything's exploding and catching on fire and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not as big a musical score guy as you. I mean, you have albums from scores. You listen to soundtracks all the time. I don't do that.
Yeah.
Every now and then a score catches me, and this one caught me when she's walking out to the beach and everything like that, and that music is swelling with her.
Yeah.
I felt like I was there on the beach with her. It transported me. It was great.
Yeah, so Carpenter,
MVP.
great, especially because he was originally going to be the director of the original Firestarter before he was fired because of his quote-unquote commercial failure movie called The Thing.
I know that movie was such a bomb in theaters. I can't believe that.
And it wasn't even critically loved either.
No,
people hated that movie when it came out. It took a good chunk of years before people really came around to that being one of the greatest horror movies of all time.
It's so funny how that happens.
Yeah, and because E.T. came around at the same time, so everyone wanted an E.T. type thing and not The Thing, and I'm like, why? Thing is great.
People like horror.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so it'd be a huge shout out to him. And I liked Zac Efron. I liked also John Beasley playing the farmer. That was, I think he did a great job with the small role. They changed up his
story and everything like that, and I liked that.
Yeah. But we are getting a little toward longer time. So the other thing is we're podcasters, so we're trying to be very cognizant to make it YouTube friendly here and be short. We're already at like around 16 minutes, so we'll probably wrap up here.
Yeah.
This is mostly just a shotgun reaction. Overall, though, what do you think? Just knee jerk. Like, I hate rating too soon because like I'm kind of hyped, but I'd say this felt like at least a 7 out of 10 for me,
right around there for me.
Which honestly, to me that's good. Like
yeah, it's a good movie. Honestly, it's a 9 out of 10 until the ending. Like I can't get behind. This man murdered your mother. I know it's all about control and everything like that, and she doesn't want to burn, but she got pushed by her dad. What was the whole window? We'll go more into that on the podcast.
So our next episode is going to be basically a week from now, almost. It's going to be on the 21st of May. We'll be live streaming it here on YouTube. And on that episode, toward the end of our whole podcast, we have a palaver section. In that section, we're going to
it's like a discussion section. In case if you're not familiar with what the word palaver means.
Yeah, well, if that case, you wouldn't be a Dark Tower fan. But yeah,
that's true. But we might have someone outside of that.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, in that, so we'll definitely dive into it deeper. But this is just kind of we want to do something YouTube, quick reaction. But overall, I'd say 7 out of 10. And for me, that was pretty consistent across the board. I thought it was definitely better than the last version. Definitely not as good as the book. But like for me, like even the ending didn't bother me. I actually liked that because it was kind of a cool kind of buck the trend a little bit because it's like cool, you could just watch her torch everything, but it's just kind of intriguing because
now what?
If she had just torched Rainbird and then walked out, it's just I just feel like that ending would have been a little bit more like cool, that's what I expected, but a little bit unexpected. Kind of worked for me a bit because I'm just like it's kind of more thought-provoking where it's just like what is she?
Now what?
Yeah, what does she see in him? What happens? And I don't think there's going to be a sequel, but it does. I just like that thought provoking. Like it's just I don't always like open ended stuff, but this felt a little bit more open ended, and I liked it because it was like makes me think a little bit. And I think in our palaver when we have that on our next episode, we go into it deeper. I think we'll probably dive into it deeper a little bit. But I think
talking more with like the book stuff and a lot more than we can cover in this video.
Yeah.
So check that out. It's a week from this Saturday, right?
Yep. So it'll be the 21st, or yes, the 21st of May.
Yep.
Probably around 5 p.m. Eastern,
Yep.
and then 3 o'clock Mountain Time. That's when we go live. Otherwise, after we finish up, it's usually a couple hour episode, 2 to 3 hour episode. It'll be on the YouTube. Obviously, you could watch the live stream after the fact. Join us then if you want to see our deeper take on it. And if you want to find anything about our podcast, it's find us over at darktowerpalaver.com. We have links there for basically everything. For instance, we mentioned the Patreon. If you want to support us on Patreon, you can find the link for it over at our website, or it is patreon.com/darktowerpalaver. If you wanted to get that and go listen to our reaction to the first one, which the highlight of that movie was the judo chop to the face.
The judo chop to the face.
But from George C. Scott. Yeah. So definitely, this was awesome though. Loved it. 7 out of 10. We'll definitely have a lot more to talk about in the future. All right. As we always say, long days and pleasant nights.
Long days and pleasant nights, folks.